In our previous video, we talked about like how we can get a callback from our kernel whenever a process has been created or whenever a process has been terminated. Today we're gonna learn like how we can read a first two byte or uh, like more bytes of a file, and we can check that it contains like M and Z in the front of the byte. If contains like M and Z means magic bytes, then it means that file is executable. There must be a like PE header and so on. And later we go like on depth, like to read the every thing in the what we say, just like I told you before. First we're gonna read MNZ, and then we're gonna pass a DOS header. We will gonna go to the image NT header, so on this, so we can later find out what are the what we say APIs and the DLL and the function the binary is using. So for this, like to reading and MNZ, we have some like flowchart here. So first of all, we have to make a function and we have to give attribute, object attribute. Object attribute is just like a envelope we give to the OS that we need to open this file. So these are the attribute of these files, and these are the attributes. This is all actually a structure, and if we try to fill this structure by ourselves, then it will be very difficult and it's bound to be like we can make mistakes. So Microsoft give us a macro which can which we can use. If we open the macro, there is a macro which fill the attribute sorry, object attribute for ourselves. So you can see the output we will get like object attribute. Another thing we have to fill. So for that we have to create a function. I'm creating a boolean function so that I will get a return like in form of true and false. So in the function we have to pass the path of the file which we generated in our last video, like here info image path, image file name. So if I go here to check what data type it has, so you can see it has PC Unicode string, means pointer to a constant Unicode string. So we're gonna use this, copy and paste because I'm lazy, and we're gonna just call it image path. And now we're gonna start our function. So first of all, we have to make an attribute. So attribute we will go here and copy and paste, and we all make a attribute, delete this and write object. So we make a attribute object and we will gonna call the macro. So let's close this. So we will gonna start it. Doesn't return any type, none, so it doesn't return any value, so we can create it directly. Let's go. And the things we have to pass here, first of all, there is a pointer to the object attribute which we created, so I have to give a pointer to the object attribute which we declared as object. And then another thing is p, a pointer to Unicode string, Unicode code string which we have, which is the path of the what we say, which is the like we path we already discussed. But the problem is that it is the constant Unicode string. So we have to convert the data type here. We have to create it p Unicode string, and we're gonna write it image path. And we can check other what are the other things. After that we have like flags which we want to use. So we need a kernel handle, we want to use at a kernel, and there was another one that we don't want any case sensitive thing. And after that it should be a null because we are just creating our what we say, uh, sorry, we are not creating, our objective is to like read, so this should also be null. So if this function run, then we will be able to like the what we say the structure of object attribute will be automatically get filled, and we can get move on from to another like process. So if you go to the flowchart, then we have to go to the JW create file. This is the function. Uh, by using this, we will get a handle to our file. So if we create a file or if we want to read a file, we need a handle. So that's because how you read or write a file. So for that, it will you can see it will give us the handle. Other things we have to give it to you. Oh, sorry, give it to the function. So to use that, it's take like empty status and it return like the status. Wait. So we have to create another variable called empty status. Let's call it status because we use it last time. And now we will gonna call the function status equal to go above. Let's copy this and paste, and we will gonna fill that with also with the fields. So first thing is a pointer to the handle. So we don't have a handle right now, so we will create a handle and let's call it file, and it points to the null. It has handle has nothing right now, so we will gonna pass it here. It's a pointer, so we're gonna pointer and a file. And another thing is mask means like what desire you want to have. So I just need a generic read, so I will just copy a generic read and I will paste it here. And another thing is like object attribute. We already got the data from here. So what it's saying, it's a pointer or what? It's a pointer, so we point it at attribute. An attribute object attribute is our like object. And then let's go down, and there is the IO status block. IO status block is like if I go here, you can say IO status block is a structure which gives us the information whenever a function wants to execute it. So some functions need output like status, pointer, information. This information can be anything, that how many bytes or other things also. So we have to use this and we have to create this also. So let's create this and we will call it like IO status and make it blank so that we can use no garbage value, and we have to also delete this. So I have to check that it's a pointer to it. Yes, it's a pointer, so we will point to it. We called it IO status. Wait. So what's the next thing here? IO status. Then there is allocation size. Allocation size is for those like if you are creating a file. So we are not creating a file, so we're gonna write here null, and allocation size and attribute we will gonna use normal because we are not creating a file, we want to read a file. And this is a file like what kind of things you can do, and like while using this what other people have the privilege to do. So this is very important to add everything, so that if a malware use like if they are using the file, you still have the permission to write and edit or delete it. So we're going to write everything here. And next thing, we just want to add a file open. Of course, we just want to open the file, and the creation process, we're gonna go for like a file sequences IO non-alert. And uh, last is like for third-party drivers, so we're gonna use null because we are the third party. and this must be 0 for like third party. So we created our create file function, and we have to check the status. If it works, then it's fine. Then we will get the handle of the file which we just created, because that's how you get the handle and read the output of the read the bytes from the file. So we gonna check if anti success status, then we gonna also it's so we have to check if it's the thing doesn't match, right? So we're gonna log, and we're gonna say just write the function name is fine. So failed, 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 and we're gonna output the what we say status. So that's it, and we have to return the false because we are make a boolean function here. And then after, if you go to the flow chart, then we have to make IO status block we have already made. Then we have to move to the read file. This is the next part. If you open the documentation of the function, you can see it's also the same as the create file, and it takes the handle this time, and it's out the output will be in the IO status block, and there's a buffer we have to give. So where the bytes we read, where do you want to store it? So for this we have to create a buffer. Let's create a buffer. Let's call it a buffer, and let makes it 0. So let's call this function, sorry, create this function. So first thing first is taking the handle. It's not a pointer, so we'll just write 5. And another thing, the event should be a null because we are using a third party driver. Wait a second. So it's null, and this is goes for null again and null again. And again we have to give IO status block, and it's a what we say, it's a pointer, so we have to give a pointer IO status. And after that we have to give buffer. So we already created a buffer here, so we will just pass. We have to check it's a pointer or what. Yes, it's a pointer, so we have to give a pointer to a buffer. And there was a length, so we will just go. Oh, so we didn't even give the length, right? So we have to give the length also. So give a length to the buffer, let's say 1024, is fine. So we also give the length. After that, offset byte we don't need, and other thing should be also null. Let's go hit null. So we created another function, and we have to check that it's like the same logic with the if, but we have to close it before we check, because the things will stay in memory which take resources. So a good programmer also close things as soon as possible. So let's close, and the handle will be file because we already stored the data in buffer. Now we can check the things like if anti success, right? I'll check status, and we have to check if log. Let's log it out. Let's call the function. uh, failed, and we're gonna print the status also. Which status is got failed, and we have to return a false. So that's it. We have created things here, and we like in IO status. If I go again and open this structure, so we also get how many bytes like has been like it read. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use it and store it in some in variable. So for that we're gonna make a variable above here. Let's make a variable and just call it bytes, easier to read, and give it a 0. It should be empty. So we will gonna check uh, now we're gonna check sorry, before I have to like what we say, add the value here, and it should be like u long, right? So we are created in u long, so we have to write the u long. And now you know that it's a structure, so we can just use some structure, what we say, status, and we want information, right? So if we have the information and we save the bytes here, so we have to check that if the logic comes here, that if the bytes is more than or equal to 2. So simple the logic. The logic is that we have the bytes, it has been like it's read. So we're gonna check it's like more than 2, and we're gonna go to the buffer, and its first like byte of the buffer should be equal to m, and a second byte should be, what is say, second means 1, so it should be equal to z. So if this conditions happen, means we are checking first 2 bytes of the like a file. If it's these conditions happen, that means it's a it's a binary which can be executed. So we're gonna try it on the debug view, just mz header found file is executable. Just say file mz is found. This is a binary. That's it, and we're gonna return true. Or if it fails, means there is no like mz headers, so we were gonna write no mz header found file is not a binary, and we're going to return false. So we completed our function. We didn't even name the function. Wait, we have to give it a name. Let's the name is alpha. This seems easier to remember, I guess. So we created a function alpha, which it opens the file and it's check first 2 bytes, that if it's m or z. If it contains m or z, then it's a binary. If it doesn't match with our condition, then it's not a binary. So we're gonna pass it here, we have the image file name, right? So we're gonna pass our function here, which is alpha. Let me check again, it's alpha, right? Yes, it's alpha, and it will take just this thing. We copy and paste, and we are all done. So we completed our like the task where we're gonna read mz uh, from a buffer, which we taken from a file. which can confirm that the file is executable or not. So let's see how many bugs we get today. No red, nothing is red. That's good. So let's try build, and again bingo. Everything runs smooth. Let's go cmd, and we're gonna run as administrator. It create sc create norm type kernel bin path equal to the this, then we're gonna paste success, and we're gonna open debugger view. Sorry, debug view, run as administrator. So we're gonna run sc start no. So you can see that like if I open a notepad here, check the notepad. So in notepad mz header found. So this file is a binary, you can see. So what we learned today, that we opened a file and checked first two byte of the binary. If the binary contained like mz header, then it's executable. If not, then it's not a binary. So in our next video, we're gonna go deep. We're gonna open some headers which can tell more thing about the executable binary. So if you like this video, so if you like, or like if you learn something, so please like this video, share to your friends. The more the likes I will have, the more the motivation I will get to make another video. Thank you guys.